Head of the GRU is in ill health after furious dressing down from Putin about the morons behind the Novichok attack, as second spy is revealed to be Russian military doctor.
Here's a summary of the article.
President Vladimir Putin personally gave a dressing down to the head of Russian spy agency GRU over deep incompetence shown in the Salisbury poisonings and other international operations. Skripal and his daughter Yulia were poisoned by the chemical agent called Novichok in Salisbury in March, leaving them critically ill in hospital. Theresa May attacks Putin at the UN for his desperate fabrication over the Salisbury spy poisoning. The Prime Minister attacked Russia for its desperate fabrication over the Salisbury spy poisoning as she addressed world leaders in New York in September. Calling themselves tourists, they said they were only wandering around Salisbury after failing to get to Stonehenge because of snow, and stumbled on the Skripal's house, as shown on CCTV, because they were looking for Salisbury Cathedral, which has a 400-feet spire and is 25 minutes in the other direction. A timeline of the key developments in the Salisbury poisoning case. 2010 Sergei Skripal, a former Russian military intelligence officer jailed for spying for Britain, is released and flown to the UK as part of a swap with Russian agents caught in the United States. Public health officials tell people who visited the Zietze restaurant or Bishop's Mill pub in Salisbury on the day of the attack or the next day to wash their clothes as a precaution. Public Health England ask everyone who visited Salisbury town centre on the day of the attack to wash all of their clothes and belongings.
This post received a score of 27,632, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than President Vladimir Putin personally gave a dressing down to the head of Russian spy agency GRU over deep incompetence shown in the Salisbury poisonings and other international operations. Greater than GRU Chief Colonel Gen Igor Korbov, 62, reportedly emerged shaken and in sudden ill health after his confrontation with the furious Russian president. Greater than Korbov's telling off came as the second Salisbury suspect was named as a GRU doctor, who gave himself away by using his first name and real date of birth on his fake identity passport. Greater than Dr. Alexander Mishkin's false identification papers also listed GRU headquarters in Moscow as his home address.
Greater than Dr. Alexander Mishkin's false identification papers also listed GRU headquarters in Moscow as his home address.
TF2 engineer voice, there's a spy in our midst.
SPAH creepin' round air.
I spy with my little eye.
Reverse search of vehicle owners with known GRU barracks as home address, has revealed 350 spies' name and passport numbers.
It reminds me of the immediate post-Cold War period, as stories of institutional incompetence and plain stupidity began to emerge. For decades the Soviet Union had relied on projecting a sense of sinister menace to intimidate and tried to give the impression of being ruthlessly efficient. "Oh no," shouted the doubters, "highly trained Russians wouldn't make a mistake like that. Don't underestimate the power of stupidity and loss of concentration."
And many Soviet intelligence coups happened due to dumb luck. The Soviet engineer passing aviation radar tech to the US. His CIA handler was spotted by a KGB trainee out taking training photos, pretending normal people on the streets of Moscow were being surveilled. He got a clear face shot and his superiors went, "WTF, KGB operatives in the US generally got nothing unless someone looking for cash came to them wanting to sell out the US for money."
Greater than KGB operatives in the US generally got nothing unless someone looking for cash came to them wanting to sell out the US for money. Actually, during WW2 the Russians received a ton of support from Americans who thought communism was the truth. Once the curtain was pulled back on what communism is actually like in practice, the Americans weren't too keen on what they had provided. But at the same time, they were also allies at the time.
This was the case right until the 50s, after which the McCarthy purges put everyone on edge. UK intelligence was quite heavily infiltrated by agents who were originally cultivated during the Second World War. Among intelligence circles, the Labour Party has always been viewed with awe of suspicion. There have been a lot of decisions that ended up Soviet-friendly. Why yes, Russia, we will sell you our state-of-the-art jet engines so long as you promise not to copy it. Oh wait, what's the engine on the MiG-15?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to Speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smry.com, without any human intervention.